All right. Okay, here we are once again. Today I'll be reading this paper by Stanislav Ford et al. Called Deep Ensembles, Lost Landscape Perspective. It's been a while since I've streamed. I mean, I guess past 2 weeks has just been really stressful, as well as I may be burning out. I am not sure. Um, so yeah, I haven't been in the right mood to do all these things, but that's precisely why I'm pushing myself to do it now to uh to get things done, right? And I apologize if I'm a bit overexposed here because it's the daytime. I usually stream at night. Okay, so this is gonna be a short one. I just want to quickly get through this paper and yeah, okay. So maybe just a bit of background. So now I'm doing a bit of work with neural networks, and particularly I'm interested to study the posteriors of the neural networks, and it's not super clear what that really means because um well, the neural network essentially for classification, for example, essentially you're trying to figure out the decision boundary of your data, and when it comes to exploring the posterior, it's not so clear what we mean by that, because in one sense we could be talking about exploring the posterior of the weights. Another way we can talk about the posterior of the decision boundary, and that in itself is not extremely well understood. Well, by me at least, and I think by the research community at large, it's not super well studied. So this paper has some ideas contributing towards this, and I'm hoping that I can get something that I can use to better to fit in my work, so that whatever type of exploration, I can properly measure the quality of it by having a proper metric, right? By having a proper object of study. Okay, so here we go. So I've begun a little bit already, actually. So uh hold on here. Okay. Uh, yes. So this studies deep ensembles, and they're trying to create this new metric, I think, called the diversity accuracy plane. To explain the power of random initializations using deep ensembles, and the first point that it's trying to put across is that the reason it works quite well compared to other type of uh kind of uncertainty estimate techniques, something like what's there? Like Markov Monte Carlo methods, specifically the ones that involves the stochastic gradient. So so that's the first cartoon that it presents, is that those methods are quite doing quite well in exploring kind of the region around one mode. So you can see here there's one, two, three modes, and that those methods work very well, or variational methods, whatever. They do well in exploring the uncertainty of one mode, but not the others. Whereas if you use random initialization, you get the kind of the you kind of get the other spectrum of things, which is that instead of exploring one mode, you get to do the other modes. So even though you may fail to explore, oh, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So you are trying to look at different modes. So, and I guess the argument is that in some situations, and maybe most of them, understanding the different modes gives you a better perspective of the uncertainty versus one mode. I don't really know how to feel about this at the moment, but let's just see. So the main findings show that the function sampled along a single training trajectory of subspace thereof, I'm not too sure what it means at the moment, tends to be similar in prediction, which means to say that you can have very different weights, very different parameters in your network that produces the same outcome, right? While potentially far away in the weight space, exactly, right? So I mean, the most naive example you can think about something like, I don't know, like this, I don't know, like a square function. So 2 squared is 4, and negative 2 squared is 4 as well. So you have two answers that are quite distant, negative 2 and 2. They are not the same number, but they give you the same result. So in this case, due to the neural network, how it's designed, and a various number of factors, you do have this behavior, whereas some functions sampled from different randomly initialization trajectories tend to be very diverse. um Right. So what? Yeah. So what it's trying to say is that if well, essentially, I think it's trying to allude to that if you start at random points, you are exploring different modes. Whereas if you just sample from one of them, then it is one mode. uh, yeah, and I guess at a high level, you want to think a lot about what you care about as a scientist. Do you want to maybe I don't know. Yeah, they're just different things that I think can be contextualized into different evaluations based on what you really want to care about. Okay, so so background. Okay. So navigate during training is a high dimensional function, therefore could be potentially. Yeah, so we're trying to minimize loss by exploring. Is there a way to explore it differently? I don't know. Okay, let's go on first. Empirical simple properties observe that loss along a linear path from an initialization to the corresponding optimum is monotonically decreasing, encountering no significant obstacle in the way. Oh, that's a. Oops, what the heck? It's a very surprising. I mean, I've heard of that, but okay. I honestly I don't really know how to feel about some of this literature because it like is it general, is this very specific, does it could depend on so many things that I don't know how much of generalization we can make from these types of observations. Okay, anyway, constraining observation to a random low dimensional hyperplane in the weight space leads to results comparable to full space optimization provided that the dimension exceeds a modest threshold. This was geometrically understood and extended. Damn, okay. Hmm. I don't really know what to make of it. I think yeah, that's why I think some of these papers are quite important because someone like myself who's not a super expert in this area, I don't really know what to make of these findings sometimes. So the loss along a linear path from initialization to the corresponding optimum is monotonically decreasing. Um, is it? I mean, does it make sense? Because I thought there's another paper, this one, right? That is that is talking about something different, right? Like something like this, right? This is a fairly 20 yeah last year, fairly recent paper. So this is saying that well, if you look at the log posterior, we have kind of three modes here, and well, what it's saying is that if you just draw a line between some random point to the optima, you get a more or less monotonically decreasing function. That suggests, I don't know, convexity. There's no way, right? Okay, anyway, that while wait, what? Uh, hmm. Demonstrates that while a linear path between two independent optima hits a high loss area in the middle, there is there in fact exists continuous low loss path connecting any pair of optima, or at least any pair empirically studied so far. These observations are unified in a single phenomenological model. While low lost, I should read this paper maybe. This guy seems to have a lot of very good work on this. While low loss tunnels create functions with near identical low values of loss along the path. Create functions. Uh, wait, what is trying to say here? While the linear path between two independent optima hits a high loss area in the middle, okay, there in fact exists continuous low loss paths containing any pair. I wonder if this paper is gonna be mentioned here. It's by Ismailov. Okay, so it's Well, that's great function. So it's saying that if you pick a random point in your weight space and you just join it linearly importantly to your optima that you find through, I don't know, Adam, whatever, it is decreasing monotonically commonly, and that if you pick two optima and then you draw a linear path between them, uh it, then obviously then it's gonna hit a high because the two minima is gonna be the low points. But you could find a low loss path, so something like connectivity, a continuous one, um that gives you equally low. So I don't know. So it's saying that, I don't know. It's suggesting some structure. Okay. We explored CFAR 10, CFAR 100, ImageNet. Yeah, I don't really, not too concerned about these things, like these particular, like some data sets and stuff. We use three architectures: small, medium, and ResNet 20v1. 20 just okay. We use Adam analyzer training to make the effects and make sure the effects region are up 0. We validate our results for business SGD options. We use batch size and drop out 0.1. We use 40 epoch to generate weight space. To generate weight space and prediction space similarity results, we use a constant learning rate of 1/2 it every 10 epochs. To test if our observation is generalized, we also ran a bunch of details here. Now I'm gonna have some faith in that this makes some sense, and that what they do is reliable, and there's no, gaping hole in the logic of the experiments that would invalidate the whole thing. That's why I'm not really paying too much attention to all these things. In addition to evaluating regular data test data, we also evaluate on corrupted version of the data set. Okay, so this would be Briar score. Lower value gets better uncertainty estimate. SVHN. What's SVHN? What is SVHN? Street view house number. Oh yeah. It's just numbers. Okay. Visualizing function space similarity. Okay, here we go. This is what we're here for. Similarity of functions within and across randomly initialized trajectories. Okay. First, we compute the similarity between different checkpoints along a single trajectory. In figure 2a, we plot the cosine similarity in weight space. So that means we just plot the inner product of the two vectors, I suppose. Yeah. And normalize it. Okay. Interestingly, in some of my undergrad work, I didn't know such thing of cosine similarity, but I was doing some experiment. I was thinking about a way to measure difference, and this made a lot of sense. So in some sense, I guess this is a very natural idea. 2b, we plot the disagreement defined as the fraction of points the checkpoints disagree on. The fraction of points, I guess this means test set. The sum where they're not the same on n. Like n is what? Test or train? I think it's train, maybe. Seems like, I mean, I think it's the train set, right? Yeah. Okay. Wait, let me just be completely clear. The theta here means the vector of weights and biases, right? Yeah. Yeah, weights and biases. Okay. It's kind of strange. All right. And then the disagreement between the ratio of the points. That means you're just comparing the number of mismatches essentially. Um. Hmm. I mean, okay. This all reads to be perfectly, um, you know, cogent. But I don't know. Seems incredibly heuristic, which is fine, but I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Next, we evaluate how diverse the final solutions from different in random initializations are. The functions from different initializations are different. Okay, as demonstrated by similarity plots in figure 3. Okay, let's just look at figure 2 first. Wow, man. Uh, okay, so what am I doing? So the similarity, okay, there's a few things I need to. So similarity between different checkpoints, differences is within the between the checkpoints, and then across. Okay, what am I looking at here? Left plot cosine similarity between checkpoints to measure weight space alignment along optimization trajectory. Okay, so let's take a look. Checkpoint, checkpoint. Uh, uh, so you have 30 checkpoints in training time, I guess. And then diagonally it should be 1 because cosine with itself. Uh, so the so it's basically saying we are not so wait, I don't really understand this plot actually. Why is it uh okay. Um so I don't know what really to take away. I mean, okay, so it shows that they're kind of similar, and that if you take, let's say, the first one compared to the rest, to the last one, the difference is about 0.6, maybe 0.65. Um, apologize for the noise. Instruction work. Okay. Disagreement. So this is the ratio. Diagonal should be 0, obviously. And they disagree about half of them if you compare the first and the last. And closer to the diagonal, meaning the neighborings, they're more or less the same. That means they kind of smoothly work towards some type of stable point. Okay, I hope they explain it a little bit more. Right, plot. Here's any plot of predictions from checkpoints corresponding to 3 different initialization predictions of checkpoints from checkpoints corresponding to 3 different trajectory 0, trajectory 1. Wait, why are they joined by 1 point? So the predictions. Okay. The functions from different initial are different demonstrated in points 3. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Results on CFAR 10 using two different architecture. So two architecture on CFAR 10. The left subplot shows a cosine similarity between different solutions in weight space. And wait. And the right fraction of labels which different. Huh? What? So wait. Two different solutions as in what? Solutions from different initializations. Ah, final solutions. Ah, I see. Okay. So that means you are basically training two. I mean, you're doing two trainings separately in different initializations. And that they are not similar. Wait, zero? Zero. Zero, that means they're like orthogonal. What? Um, okay, I guess in high dimensions. Oh, I have a bot. How do I stop that? I don't know. Is any other pair? Wait, but is this fine? Ah, okay, next we take the prediction from different checkpoints along the individual training for multiple initializations. Next we take the predictions from different checkpoints along the individual training. So we do this, take this, and I plot the TSNE plot to visualize similarity in function space. More precisely, for each point, we take the softmax output for a set, flatten the vector, and use it to represent the model's predictions. Okay? The TSNE algorithm is then used to reduce it to 2D point in the TSNE plot. Okay. Model 2C shows. Right. Okay, I'm not so sure what this point is. Maybe it's just bound that they're gonna be joined. I don't know, but okay. So this is saying that the. So let me just write a quick note here. Similarity distance in weight space. In some sense, and then I guess you call it predictions. I don't know how to describe it. And then lastly, TSNE. Okay. In addition to checking to the checkpoints, we also construct subspaces based on each individual trajectory. Scalable variational Bayesian methods typically approximate the distribution of the weights along the training trajectory. Along the training trajectory. Hence visualizing. Wait. Scalable variational. Hence visualizing the diversity of functions between subspaces. How understand the difference between. Okay. Not familiar with random subspace approximations, but okay, let's see what we can do. They don't compare subspace. Oh, P cube is the probability, I guess. Okay, so okay, actually I'm not so sure if this is ah. Wait, what is it trying to do here? Why? Wait. Similarity functions within subspace. What? Hmm. So they're trying to create a subspace of solutions. Let me just read it one more time to make sure I'm understanding correctly. Subspace sampling methods. Okay, we start an optimized solution and choose a random direction V in weight space. We step, wait, random as in what? Uniform random? What is it? It doesn't matter. We step in that direction and choose different values of T. So we get essentially a line. We repeat this for many random directions. So we look at many lines. Okay. We start out and apply dropout with a randomly chosen peak heap, evaluate predictions and dropout peak heap, and repeat this many times with different peak heap. So okay, so this is okay. We start as an optimized solution and look at the most recent iteration of training preceding it. For each trainable parameter, we calculate the mean independent for each parameter, which correspond to diagonal covariance. This is similar to swag diagonal. To sample solutions, we repeat the draw reference. Okay. So that means you are approximating your subspace, your but what is this called, subspace? I don't understand. I guess. That means this is essentially doing a little bit of, well, it's not MCMC, you can't call it that. Training iteration though. This is very strange. Because I don't know what this means. Because if you train it long enough, well, I see, you could. Okay, I guess it's trying to, yeah, basically this is trying to model a mode as a Gaussian. Yeah, kind of makes sense. We follow principal as diagonal, compute the mean. For covariance, we use rank K and then top K. Sample K. Low rank and PCA Gaussian. Okay. Basically, it's the same thing, but it's a bit more flexible here. So I guess this should exhibit. Well, no, it not necessarily exhibit more or less variance. I guess less by definition. But this captures more correlation, obviously. Oh wait, no. Sorry. Oh, this is a low rank. That means this, let's say you have 1,000 weights and biases, this will just be 1,000. And this is saying, what is this saying? Rank K, which is supposedly much lower, I guess. Top K, principal components of the recent weight vectors. So that means only the weight vectors that really are really varying. We sample from a k-dimensional, obtain the weight configurations as wait, sum of I? I don't understand. Then what is the size of this data? N0k. So this is just, then you take so this is just building up the approximation, right? Yeah, this is just summing up the approximations. But I don't understand why this would be. Oh. Ah. So this would be k times k. Oh, wait. Okay, I think this is just yeah, this is just building up from the low rank approximation. So this is 1 times k, and then this is k times, no, this is 1 times k, and this is k times like 1,000, then the whole thing will be 1,000. Then it makes sense. Ah, okay, yeah, okay, whatever. It's not so important here. Not the point of what I'm doing here. Uh, okay. Validation set prediction on each trajectory along the 4 different subspaces for each trajectory. What do you mean? Ah, okay, for each trajectory. Okay. So the subspace method are actually quite close. Interesting. This is hmm. Hmm. Surprising. I mean, this is a very convincing plot that something's happening. The subspace functions stay in the prediction space neighborhood of the run around which they were constructed, demonstrating that truly different functions are not sampled. Truly different functions. Whoa, wait. What? Truly different functions, not sampled. Yes, they are sampled in a subspace. What do you want them to do? I don't understand. Ah, so you're saying that uh, uh I see. So you're saying that maybe the blue does not go into the different regions. So just as the runs don't go into the different regions per trajectory, the subspace within the trajectory tends to stay in the same neighborhood in terms of prediction space. Ah, okay. Maybe I can write that down. Hmm. That since hmm. Okay. Whoa, what is that? The number of different ways of visualization is this is a this is pretty funny. Shows that functions sampled from a subspace denoted by colored squares corresponding to particular initializations are much more similar to each other. While subspaces are more diverse, while some subspaces are more diverse, they do not overlap. That's a good point. It's actually a good point. Figure 5. As additional evidence, Figure 5 provides two-dimensional visualizations of the radial landscape along the directions of two different optima. The radial landscape. What? What the heck does that even mean? Origin. Gauss times 100. Optima 1, Optima 2. Path 1. Path 2. And then the green is the accuracy. Weight space direction 1. Weight space direction 2. Radial loss landscape cut between the origin and two independent optima. So basically, it's just a sweep in a small manageable region. Accuracy is about the same. Function similarity to optimum 1. So this is very low. So that means they are different functions that share the same similarity. What is this trying to say? The weights of the two trajectories shown in red and blue are initialized using standard techniques, and they increase radially. The weight. They increase radially with training due to their softmax cross entropy loss. Wait. Okay, so that means they hit towards where they are headed. Oh, that's a dumb thing to say. The left subplot shows that different random initialization eventually achieved similar accuracy. I believe that. We also sample from a Gaussian subspace along trajectory 1. The middle and right plot shows that they are different functions. Solutions are much more similar to their respective optima, which is consistent with cosine similarity and T-Z plots. Solutions along each trajectory and Gaussian subspace are much more similar to their respective optima. Okay, I believe that. To illustrate difference in another fashion, we sample functions from a single subspace and plot accuracy versus diversity. As measured by disagreement between predictions from the baseline solutions. Baseline? What is baseline solution? Like truth? Disagreement? Isn't that just accuracy? Wait, what are they trying to say again? There's so many bits that I'm losing track of what's their point again? That I have that problem sometimes. I read and I'm like, wait, what are they trying to do again? Okay, so all they're trying to show so what is the hypothesis? Yes. Right, so the main paper is just to show that, hey, you're doing different things. Okay, I can get on board with that. Yeah, we good. Let's get right back in. To illustrate another difference, sample functions from a single subspace and plot accuracy versus diversity as measured by disagreement between predictions from the baseline solution from a bias variance trade-off perspective. We require a procedure to produce functions that are accurate, which leads to low bias, as well as decorrelated, which leads to low variance. Hence, the diversity versus accuracy plot allows us to visualize the trade-off that can be achieved by subspace sampling methods versus deep ensembles. It's an interesting point. Okay, so without looking, I assume subspace method have low bias, but low variance. Low variance and high bias. Yes, whereas deep ensembles are low bias, high variance. I guess. The diversity score quantifies the difference between two functions by measuring fraction of data points on which their predictions differ. We chose this approach due to its simplicity. We also compute KL divergence and other distances between the output probability, leading to equivalent conclusions. Let d-diff denote the fraction that are different, 0 when two functions make same, 1 different, to account for the fact, that means higher is bad. Higher is more disagreement. To account for the fact that the lower accuracy of a function, the function, the higher its potential due to possibility of wrong answers, you need to normalize it, I guess. We normalize 1 minus a is accuracy. It makes sense. That means if it's very, very inaccurate to start with, that means it's very low. Then we want to, scale down the potential difference due to just the incompetence of the solution. We also derive idealized lower and upper limits of these curves, shown in dashed lines, by perturbing the reference solution's predictions and completely random given it. So that would be upper limit and. Okay. Perturbing reference solutions predictions. I wouldn't. Okay. I don't know if that's completely helpful, but okay. Uh. Oh. Okay. Let's look. Upper limit, lower limit, random subspace dropout, blah blah blah. Independent optima. Validation accuracy. Prediction diversity. Fractions of label change. Okay, I need to read this carefully. And then these are on 3 different architectures on the same data set. Okay. Diverse. Um, what do you want? You want high diversity and high accuracy. So top right. So to the right. Top. Alright. What? Wait, what are the different dots? Like, what do they represent? Samples? Sample functions. This is strange. So I guess this is saying as training occurs, you kind of move to the right, right? As you increase or improve, uh, you have less diversity. Um, and then you have better accuracy. I can see this happening for a standard type of training. But what I don't understand is how come this is so much higher than this? Like what? Prediction diversity. What is it? Wait. How do you measure prediction diversity? I mean, wouldn't hmm. So this is saying that these methods produce highly accurate results that are also diverse. How do you measure diversity? Wait, let me check that again. What is baseline solution? The hell is a base solution? Baseline optimum. Wait, huh? Wait. One means high. How? What? I don't even understand. One means high. Yeah, that means you are differing on every single example almost, yet you are getting this accuracy. The hell does that even mean? How does that make any sense? Diverse. Well, diverse? What? Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Interesting. Because I am thinking of writing my paper in a similar way where I try to break down every bits and pieces and try to show evidence for each claim. So maybe this is a nice way to frame it. I was thinking to put it in little sections, but I realized it's a bit hard to introduce different things at at different parts. So maybe I was thinking just having it all in the back in the experimental sections, but I realized that that could be too loaded. Like it's a bit hard to read. Maybe. Okay. At any rate, let's go on. Subspace method and solving should be complementary benefits in terms of uncertainty and accuracy. Since our goal is not to propose a new method but carefully test this, we evaluate the performance for variance control comparisons, baseline optimum at the end of a single trajectory, subspace sampling, average predictions of a solution sample from a subspace ensemble, training multiple times, train based on multiple with random initializations and average, ensembling, and use subspace within each trajectory. Makes sense? To maintain accuracy of random samples at a reasonable level for fair comparison, reject samples if there is below. Okay. Rank 4. Hmm. I see. Weight averaging. Wider optima. Better generalization. Wait. And subsamples. Oh, I mean, hmm. Uh, Wait, as the ensemble size goes higher, your test bar score goes lower. Low is low is good, right? Right? Where did he say again? Something. Um, Low indicates better uncertainty. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So, hmm. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't expect that. Wait, so this is saying that as we have more ensemble size, somehow our accuracy gets better. What? I don't understand why. And then the uncertainty becomes better. This I understand, but why would it get better? Wouldn't they be all the same? Hmm. Examples for each subspace. Okay. And I guess the more important question is, okay, so you have this, but is it significant, right? Or is it, is it a lot? It's is an increase of 0.05, 5%. I don't know. Is that a lot? Jensen Shannon diversity. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Corruption intensity accuracy drops. Oh, wait, what does this mean? I mean, of course. Okay. Hmm. So this is as a function of corruption intensity. Wait, why suddenly you are looking at corruption? Oh, data set shift. But what is? I guess okay. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Trajectories of randomly initialized explore different modes, which explain why deep ensembles trained with just random works well in practice. The subsampling methods as blah 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 might sample functions that might lie relatively far from starting point in the weight space. However, they remain similar in function space, giving rise to an insufficiently diverse set of predictions. Using the concept of diversity accuracy plane, we demonstrate empirically that current variational Bayesian methods do not reach the trade-off between diversity and accuracy achieved by independently trained models. There are several. This is interesting, because well, there are several interesting directions for future research, understanding the role of random initialization and training dynamics, exploring methods which achieve high diversity then on deep ensembles, and developing parameter efficient methods that achieve better diversity accuracy trade-off than on deep ensembles. Okay, this is a very nice paper. Quite convincing. Okay. Uh, Mm-hmm. Low loss tunnel. Hmm. Mm. The minimum of the uh yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, I believe this. I believe it. It's not it's not hard to believe actually. Okay, there's a bunch of other stuff. But the most important thing I want to take home from this paper is the way to quantify some type of mixing. So, yeah. Okay, this is a bit tricky because in this paper they are not really using the information that oh, okay, how well distributed they are. We are using the information on the fact that they are different classes, and that's just a convincing element to say that hey, look, they are doing different things, they are at different modes, exploring different functions, which makes a lot of sense. um but in terms of describing mixing, I don't know if it's so applicable. Similarity. Similarity. Hmm. So many things to think about. Okay, yeah. Well, all right. Pretty cool that we got through this paper and thought a lot about it actually. In our, I would say that's not a bad use of my time. There's a lot to think about. I'll spend the weekend, trying to figure out something that makes a lot of sense. But in the meantime, I still got to finish my second paper, so that's that. So, and in the same time, I'm trying to read up on the graph algorithms to prepare for my future job hunt. So, okay. All right. Have a good weekend, guys. Take care.